Yo, what is up guys, your boy Cesar here, bringing you guys a video about how to beat Knightmare decks, specifically Spyral and Gouki Knightmare, since they're the most popular list out there for the Knightmare deck. Now, this is not a very hard matchup to beat, but if you're not prepared for this deck, you're going to have a tough time beating this deck. So, let's get started with the side deck cards and the cards that you can play to stop this deck. The first cards I want to talk about is cards that contribute over your opponent's monsters, cards like Lava Golem, Spear Mode, Kaijus, etc. These cards are very good going second, and if you tribute over their Griffin or their Trigate Wizard or their Firewall Dragon, they're going to have a really tough time dealing with your board. Since these decks spend a lot of resources trying to make these boards, make these unbreakable boards, and try to stop you from ever playing Yu-Gi-Oh!, they really don't have a follow-up play when you get rid of like 3 of their monsters because of a Spear Mode, or you get rid of 2 monsters because of a Lava Golem, or get rid of one of their co-link monsters with a Kaiju. It's just a very good card in general, or cards in general. Now it all depends on what kind of deck you're playing to actually pick which card is really good for your deck. If you're playing a deck that relies on their normal something like Mech Knight Invoked, you're probably just gonna play Kaijus. But if you have something like a Pendulum deck, maybe like Pendulum Magicians, Metal Foes, etc., you're probably gonna stick to either Spear Mode or Lava Golem, whatever floats your boat. The next card I want to talk about is Evenly Matched. Now, Evenly Matched is by far one of the strongest trap cards in the game, is probably one of the strongest cards in the game and most used cards in the game, because it's just a very good card for getting rid of all of your opponent's monsters. And even though they do give you the Ibli in the combo, you can find a way to get rid of that Ibli and for them to Firewall, bounce your monster that you link with Ibli, or for them to banish with Trigate Wizard. It's just really easy to get that one monster off the field, and then you can just hit them with an Evenly Match and they just basically lose. So this is like a really strong card against the matchup, because after that they probably won't have anything else to do in their plays. So that is it for this card. So the next cards I want to talk about is hand traps. Cards like Cherries, Ghost Ogre, Ash Blossom and Joy Spring, Droll. All these cards are very good against these matchups. And I think the best card against these matchups is Cherries, because Cherries can get rid of their either Double Helix or their Nightmare Goblin, a Day, just these really powerful link monsters. You can just get rid of their cards and you'll be done. And if you're playing a deck like Altergeist that don't really play much extra deck cards, you can put Electromite in there as well when you're playing Cherries. You can put a Day for the Nightmare matchup. You could put Griffin. You could put Double Helix. All these really good cards are just, they're really good against this matchup, because you can just get rid of those cards and they'll be done. You Ash Blossom them, they'll be done. You Ogre their Day, they'll be done. So these hand traps are really strong against this matchup. The next cards I want to talk about in this video is Abyss Dweller or Soul Drain, any cards that stops your opponent's effects in the graveyard. Now, against Gouki Knightmare, this card just destroys it'll just destroy their whole deck, because they simply rely on the Goukis to get their graveyard effects so they can plus off of all their linking and all that crazy stuff. So you summon this on like probably game 1 if you know your opponent's playing the deck, or you summon this game 2 or game 3. You just simply destroy their deck. And if you're playing something like Altergeist, you can play like Soul Drain, activate Soul Drain on their turn, summon Multi-Faker. You're basically going to win that matchup, because if they don't have the out, they don't have Twin Twister, they don't have Red Reboot, you just simply win that matchup. So this is a really good card, even for the Spyral matchup, because they can't activate Master Plan in the grave, they can't activate Quick Fix in the grave. So this card is very good in those matchups. The last cards I want to talk about in this video is trap cards that can negate your opponent's cards. Cards like Solemn Judgment, Solemn Warning, Solemn Scolding, Solemn Strike. All these very strong trap cards you can side in your side deck for games 2 and 3 versus these deck when you know you're going first. So these cards are very good, but Since a lot of people are playing stuff like Twin Twisters and Red Reboots, I don't think these are the best options. But if you're playing a deck like Altergeist that relies on their traps, or you're playing something like Counter Fairies, maybe like some trap decks you're playing in the deck, like maybe even true Dracos that are playing trap cards in the deck, you can simply put these cards in going games 2 and 3, or when you're going first is very, very good. So basically these cards do what they do best. They negate cards. You stop their Assaulde, you stop their Spyral Double Helix, you stop any of their link summons or their effects that really get them going, like Goblin, and they just simply lose. So these cards are very, very strong, but keep in mind that there's things like Twin Twister and cards like Red Reboot that are running around in the meta, maybe even evenly matched, that can get rid of all these cards from your opponent, or on your field rather. So that is it, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this video and what can I improve in these type of videos, because I want to do a lot more for like Brandish and Altergeist. Those are going to be really good decks in the future, and I really want to show you guys how to beat those decks. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm out.